Hello everybody, Prowl here, and today we're going to start a big, huge, enormous project, and I'm gonna bring you along the planning process because this project's so big, there's no way for me to do it in one episode. Even the planning's gonna take a little bit of time. So I want to bring you along my process of planning a really big build or project. This could be a singular structure, like something that big or larger, or it could be maybe a whole bunch of smaller structures you're doing. Just want to bring you along the journey of this process, and it's going to require a lot of work. And that a lot of work is probably gonna happen, I'm really thinking somewhere right in here. Let me explain to you what we're doing. And it has to do with storage. A whole heck of a lot of storage. You see, we've been using our trusty storage building here ever since the very beginning, and it has honestly served us really well. It's fairly well organized. It's not too hard to find things that I need to get in here. Sometimes like some things get lost, but overall it's been good at helping me find the things that I need. But man, is putting things away a real pain, and in some places I'm running out of space, whereas other places I have way too much, and I just think we need a change of scenery. So we're gonna go with something more automatic, something where when I finish a project and I have 18,000 shulker boxes lined through here, instead I'll be able to take those 18,000 shulker boxes and just put them in something to unload them all, and they automatically get sorted everywhere. Now, when I do storage, I like to do things big, because if you're making storage, the very last thing you want is to run out of space, and then you have nowhere to expand because you have this big fancy storage room that now has nowhere to put the things that you need to put it, and that's just really annoying. Nobody wants that. So we're going to build this thing oversized, and actually this is going to be not just a multi-item storage building, this is going to be a storage facility in ways, because we're going to make a multi-item sorting storage system, and we're going to make a storage silo system for all of our overflow of mass amounts of items. And I may even add in a huge, like the biggest you've ever seen, furnace system at the very bottom of it. And we're gonna have like shulker box unloaders and all sorts of really cool things. And I even have some like general ideas for how I want this to be implemented. Okay, so we're gonna get some things to plan this out. First thing I want is a pair of shears. Second thing I want is Unbreaking 3 and Efficiency 5 on my shears. Yes, we did just put Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3 on shears. You'll see why. Next, I want a few different colors of wool, and probably a lot of it given the size that we're going to be working in here, and probably colors that are easy to see, like my favorite color, orange. Let's grab some pink, some lime green, and some light blue. That should be enough. Next, let's fly out here to our location and delete some trees. Okay, I've got a little zone cleared out here. I might have to clear out a little bit further, but I didn't want to go overboard with it. And the reason why, and what we're going to do here first to kind of plan this out, is we're going to see how big we want this thing. So I really don't know. And I've got myself a lot of wood by doing this, which is actually kind of nice. Let's shove all that in here, and let's grab all of our wool. And I guess first, I tried to put this like kind of center of where I thought things were going to go, but maybe I need a little bit better bird's eye view first. Actually, I think that's pretty good. I do. So we're going to say that this right here is going to be roughly the center, or maybe even exactly the center. And we need to think of how big I want this particular thing to be. Now, the reason why we're using colored wool here is because with colored wool, we can like designate different things with different colors. And with wool, if we're doing something else, we can't like accidentally like break it too fast with a pickaxe or whatever, right? But if I use my shears, it insta breaks. So if I do need to pick it up really quickly, I can. So that's why we have the Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 5, like super shears. So I think what I want to kind of figure out is, well, probably for me, I'll probably start from maybe a corner, and then we'll kind of count some things out. Let's say our first corner is going to go like right in here. And since this is storage, I'm going to plan out first how big I need for like the chests. So we'll say the pink is going to be our chests. This is not working for me. And I think what I want to do is I want to make sure I have plenty of space for decoration. We're not going only function here. We're going to go decoration too. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 columns of chests right here. And then what if we like skip some space? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I skip 7 spaces, that gives me plenty of room for like some kind of decoration that we're gonna have here, whether it be pillars or I have some ideas of some other things too. Maybe some naturey things, maybe some like a waterfall or something. I don't know. But if we leave ourselves 7 blocks of space, that's gonna be plenty to do anything we may need to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And when I'm doing this, I feel like I want more space than less space. So we're gonna go 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 9, 10, 11. So that would be 33 columns of chests. And I know with our storage design that I'm using here, your chests are going to be 4 rows high. So it would be 4 rows of 11 for each one of these. And then what if we did that like over on this side? Which way would I want this to face? Yeah, we'll do this over on this side. We'll do it over on this side right here. And then over here would maybe be something else like shulker boxes and the loading system and that sort of thing. Yeah, I like the sound of that. So I need to decide another thing. Actually, I need to decide kind of like what the like border of this thing and the walkway is going to be so we could do the other sides. So maybe I'm going to use a different color here. Let's use orange. So we'll kind of mark off this little middle area right here. And then we will give ourselves a little bit of space here. Maybe we'll come over. Let's see. Let's start here. Let's come over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That'll kind of square it off. And I think we're going to keep things kind of symmetrical with like this portion of the layout and how it works. Boom. There we go. So the pink will be roughly where the chests are. The orange is going to be kind of like space between, and then I guess like walkway will kind of come out in here. That part's not really important to think about right now. The next thing I kind of need to know is where a lot of the redstone for this is going to go. So maybe the redstone portion we will mark off in green, and the redstone will stick out about 9 blocks behind the chests. And always like to have a little bit of extra wiggle room. So we'll just go like 10 blocks back. We'll go from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we'll just kind of like connect this all the way across. And there we go. Generally, the redstone will stick that much out of each side. So here's the big plan. Okay, this is what I've been thinking. This is kind of the big reveal. I'm thinking that's a really big structure to build above ground, especially for the height that we need. So we're not going to go up. I don't think I mentioned this already. We're going to go down. And I have a really cool idea for what down's going to look like. First of all, it's going to be open-ish. So we're going to dig a huge hole in the ground. Like it'll be the size of this outline right here, and it's going to go down. So we'll have like a top level that's going to be like storage and like item input and stuff like that. We'll have another level down from there that's going to be bulk storage, and we'll probably have another level down from there that's going to be furnace, super smelter system, and that sort of thing. And who knows if anything else will get incorporated in this. I really can't think of anything right now, but you never know. Maybe like my permanent nether portal can go here or something. But this is a big project. First of all, I think this thing is like about 50-ish blocks wide from end to end, and we're gonna need to go down about 50 blocks down underground. So this is going to be quite the big dig. On top of that, on our first like ground layer that we establish, we're going to have to carve out a big area behind each one of the chest areas for all the redstone to go. And then once it's all done, or really maybe even as we go, kinda, we're going to be decorating this thing, and I have a cool like idea for a theme. I was trying to think of what I wanted to do with this, and this is another part of like the planning process that's not always easy to do. I was trying to think what I wanted this to look like. And well, first of all, I decided not to build above ground because this thing is really big. It's actually quite a bit larger than our biggest building over there. And that thing's pretty large. And if you build it above ground, you have to get a whole ton of blocks to build it up. You have to have a cohesive plan. of what's it going to look like? How's it going to be decorated? You have to build in depth and detail and all these different things. And while maybe like Infinite Time Prowl could figure that out, I'm not Infinite Time Prowl. I'm has things to do Prowl. So instead we will go down. Now, we're still actually going to have to do a lot of the decorating and things like that, but the shape will kind of take its own little form. And I was thinking about what I wanted that shape to look like, what I wanted this thing to be. And I had two different thoughts come to mind. My first thought is futuristic, because with futuristic, you can like keep things symmetrical, or you can go with like some clean lines, and you can use a lot of glass and like lighter colors and white and stuff like that. But then that could be a little bland. You don't have a lot of like blocks to detail with in that scenario. You got some, but you don't have a ton. And my second idea was like a nature-y type theme, where like you have a lush looking area with water and trees and grass and like wood and stuff like that. But the problem with that could be it could kind of blend in right here when you go over top. And I feel like that type of theme has been done a lot of times before by a lot of different people. So what is my idea? What have I thought of? Well, my idea is we're going to actually merge the two. We're going to dig this thing down, and as we build it up over the next several episodes and mostly live streams is where I'll be doing a lot of the work. So make sure you catch me live on Twitch or here on YouTube, either one. We're going to meld the two together. We're going to have a futuristic civilization look like they built this, but they built it with the intent of it being overgrown. They wanted nature to take over this particular area, so they designated areas for that to happen, and they allowed the overgrowth to happen. It's going to look really cool. I'm picturing waterfalls, I'm picturing bridges, I'm picturing trees and flowers and moss and glowberries and like all the cool stuff, maybe even some stalactites and stalagmites, but it's all going to be encased in like clean, sterile, like straight lines. There's going to be glass in places. Like it's going to be a cool meld of two different things that I think is going to work out rather well and look rather good. But I'm honestly at a point now where just a lot of digging, a lot of work's going to need to be done. We're going to have to dig down, like I said, roughly 50 blocks. And I'll probably take this same like strategy and take that downwards too. So like we may like mark down like several blocks in like a color wool, and then like mark like a layer somehow, right? And then we may go down a whole bunch more blocks and then mark another layer, just so I can kind of visualize where things are roughly going to go, figure out exactly how deep this thing's going to need to be. And lastly, why am I deciding to like do all of this in the way that I'm doing it? Well, you got to think, your storage is probably your most important thing in a Minecraft world, because it's where you're always going to come back to. It's where you're going to spend the most time getting things. And if you don't do it right, it's going to be where you spend the most time, like 10 times the amount of time putting things back. And I'm tired of putting things back. It kind of sucks, but I also want everything to be in one location, one storage location for everything. So that's why we're going to have one layer be our multi-item storage system, and then another layer below that be bulk storage. That could be things like deep slate and stone and cobblestone and dirt, like things we get a whole heck of a lot of. Maybe we'll even have an area for some of our like automatic farmable things to go here too, and then any overflow can just continue to collect inside of the farms. But it'll be really nice to have all that here. And then I've been sitting on this really cool design of a super smelter for years now, and I've never released it or shown it to anybody. I got to kind of figure out how it works again, but it was capable of doing 320 furnaces, and it's actually kind of easy to make. So I want to do that too, now or never. So we're going to build that into the thing as well. And I think it's going to be really cool and really fun to do. So when I get back to you guys on the other side of this cut, I should have this whole thing dug out from the stream day that we're doing on Saturday, or at least most of it, depending on how much they distract me during this. And yeah, we'll have a big hole to talk about, and then we'll do some further planning of where things are going to go. 3 or 4 streams later, I can't keep count. We have a big hole. Did I underestimate the size of this job? I think I did. But you know what? That's sometimes part of the planning process too. This took a lot of hours to dig the circle out, and then dig the square and the cutouts out underneath. I didn't really make many decision changes on how we were doing things. As you can see, I cut out the circle. Instead of going down the 7 blocks that I initially intended to go down, I instead went down 9. 7 just did not feel substantial enough. And then after we reached that point, we cut out the big square underneath, And we did the little parts where we were going to have the redstone go in behind the chest. So remember, the pink here is the chest. The orange is kind of like decorative walls and that sort of thing. And then the green box is redstone. So we cut that out and squared this off on all 4 sides. And this is what we have. I also just went ahead and went down an extra layer here too, just so I could still visually see where that circle is going to be. And I made this a little bit taller too, just so we had some extra vertical space to decorate and do different things here. Because with how big this hole is, I wanted it to feel like it was grand enough for what's going to be going on inside of it. So now really the next part of the planning is to just kind of figure out where everything's going to go. I think we're going to use green for now to represent our chests, white to represent walls, and then red to represent where redstone is going to go. I also, after we do that, I think I want to have a very general plan for where is flooring going to go. Also, where are some of our little like floating islandy things going to go out here? Originally, I was telling you guys I was thinking of maybe like having bridges go between it, but this is a futuristic build, right? Maybe we don't necessarily need bridges. Maybe they can just be little floating pods that just float because they're made by a future civilization that knows how to make pods float. So the first part of planning here is I need to figure out where the redstone's going to go. And I think we built ourselves an extra space there, but just to kind of recalculate, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks behind the chest. Let me double check that in the tutorial world. 10 blocks behind the chest. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I gave myself extra room. The redstone itself takes up 8 behind a chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And if I remember correctly, I inset this in by I think 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I did. So let's say redstone starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to probably adjust this. Well, actually, I know for a fact we're going to adjust it because I want it to be fairly exact. But this will get us a good rough idea of where everything's going to go. Okay, that's good. And if we start at the center here, I want to make sure everything's centered. Let's say chests go here. And each row of chests or each section of chests is 11 chests wide, 11 blocks wide. So something like that. And then if I remember right, we skipped 7. So basically the sides pretty much kind of butt up close to the walls. And if when we're decorating, we need to carve out more, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, we definitely have like the basis of what we need here. And I realized I 100% told you guys that this was going to be green wool for chests, and I used the white by accident. Bruh. Okay, there we go. So again, the redstone will sit, I think, in kind of like a flush square over here like this. At least the bulk of it will. There. So chests, redstone stuff. And then I know we want to have some depth. So we'll probably have like the walls or facades or whatever's there will sit out like this. Ooh, which just actually works good because technically like I have all of this wall space. And this lets us know basically what one section looks like. Oh, should we, I need to see how tall it's going to be. Let's map that out too. So this would be chests on ground level. I know it's like 4 sets of chests high because that's as high as we can reach. So that'd be chest, spacer, chest, spacer, chest, spacer, chest. So the chests would go this high, and it leaves us a little bit of room because there is some redstone and stuff that sits just slightly above it. Boom. So that's what we'd be looking at for chest to chest. There'll obviously be some type of like decoration stuff up there, but all of that ends up getting covered. So that's kind of cool. It gives us a good idea for what this is going to look like. Now, keep in mind, like one of my big philosophies and things I'm going for and how I'm showing you guys how my planning process goes is I like to plan for function and for look. And that's kind of what we're doing, right? Because we could fit way more chests and way more storage if we just took chests all the way across. But what kind of fun is that? To just have a big wall of like chests and nothing else to break it up? It's not only going to be kind of boring looking, but it would actually be, in a way, less functional. Because when we're breaking things up in these groups of 11, each section can have its own different category. This could be wood, this could be stones, and this could be like dirts and sand and that kind of stuff, like other blocks, overworld blocks. Over here could be nether stuff. Over here could be end stuff, right? Like we can kind of like categorize things And then we can maybe even decorate them or label them differently in some way. So when we fly down in here, we know, bam, I'm going to the wood section. Oh, I need dirt. I'm going to the dirt section. Like whatever the case may be, it just makes it a lot easier to handle things and I guess be more functional in a way in the end if you kind of divide things out and think about the aesthetics, because aesthetics are about looks, but aesthetics are also about function and how things work too. Now, speaking of function and how things work, we need to figure out flooring. So we need a decent amount of walking space. You know what I feel like I kind of should do? I'm gonna do this same thing. I'm gonna do this on all 4 sides first. So some interesting things happened while I was putting this up. I found out that I messed some things up while I was digging. And you know what? That's gonna happen sometimes. This is part of the planning process and why you actually do the planning to begin with. This could have been a lot more consequential, where I had gone through the entire build and building a bunch of stuff and then like kind of did things one section at a time. And then at some point found out that I messed this thing up. When I figured it out just now, not a big deal. I just found out that this whole wall right here and this whole wall right here needed to be pushed back one. So all I did was I trimmed a layer off of this, and this surface. This, like basically that side, I trimmed a whole like layer off to make it deeper that direction, and the same thing for this side, and that fixed everything, and now everything's laid out right. So let this go to show you that planning is a really good idea, because you might pull a prowl and mess things up. It happens. Can we also not call it that? Let's not call it pulling a prowl. Just erase that from the video. Nope. Another decision that needed to be made was, I've always said that I was going to have 3 sides of chest, but which 3 sides? So the way I figured that out was I kind of figured out where's the main road going to come in, because if I felt like if there's going to be a difference, that would be what dictates it. And the main road I kind of have already set up here, comes out through here. There's going to be a bridge that goes across right here. It's going to kind of go through here, snake through the woods, and then lead out to this way. So that means we'll have a branch that comes out this way to this, and maybe even a bridge that goes across this or something like that, that takes us out to like the raid farm here whenever we build that like storage area and all that kind of thing out too. So that led me to leaving this side blank. And again, I think I've said this earlier, but I want to kind of reiterate it again. When you do your planning, you want to leave yourself a little bit of leeway, right? I think I have more chests than I need here. Actually, I'm pretty sure I do. So that's good, right? Because then if I have some extra things I find, or I stay in this world for a longer period of time than I intended to, then I have extra storage space to handle that. Also, I could have probably extended more storage out this way, but what if I want to do things over here? I think my item input's going to go over here, but that's not going to be very big. I could decorate this area and make it look kind of cool. And then if I decide I want a second input that goes to the next level down where our bulk storage is going to be, or another input that's going to go all the way down to where our super smelter is going to be, or something else here, maybe a bunch of micro farms, or maybe some type of a like input that comes up from a slime farm I put down here. There's a lot of different things that could be decided that could change this. So the last thing I want to do is put in what I already think is too many chests and just put in more, and then have to rip all that out because I need a little bit of space, or alter my plans somewhere else when I could just build in room right here. Anyways, the next thing I want to do is I want to figure out where a lot of our pathway is going to be. So I have some blue blocks here that I think I want to use for like actual walkways in some way. But I think the way that I want to do this is I want to like give myself a certain like width of like, this is how much room I have to walk. And I think 3 blocks is probably pretty good, because if I bring myself 3 blocks out, that'll bring me out to here. And then I could bring it in 1 right here, or maybe we even have something overhang here. I don't know. We'll probably bring it into 1 just because it like fits with what we're doing, right? And then we bring that in right there. And this will be a walkway that I have where I can stand anywhere. It'll be at that level, but I can stand anywhere in here and open my chest and still be able to squeeze by over here. Or maybe like I'm just thinking, why would I do that? I have a big hole that's going to be right there. I can just kind of have the whole area be the big walkway. Might be the smart thing to do. So all of this area will just be walkway. And then, like I said earlier, since we're this big futuristic civilization that built this area, we can have like our big pods for our plants, our overgrowth, be throughout here. And then we can figure out how we traverse that somehow. I don't quite know how that's going to be. Maybe it'll be like parkour. That could be kind of fun. And then I think I'm going to have some waterfalls like come through here as well. Actually, I have a fun idea for that. Hold on. Like, what if we had it so there's a cut in of this river that cuts in and flows into here. And it's like a big waterfall that spans down the whole area. That'd be really freaking cool. I could even do it on 2 sides, although I don't know how that would necessarily look. Like this idea, I do. It could even not like flow directly over the side, like straight down to the bottom. Like it could cut in like anywhere through here and like pour out. Oh man, I'm like super excited now. I think this side, yeah, this side is our like farm structure side. So if we pull the water in there, let's kind of mark this for future reference that like we'll have like a water flow, almost aqueduct like thing. Maybe we make it feel like it's planned, right? And then it like comes through here and like there's just this little cool like waterfall that like flows down where the water's falling in here. Maybe we'll even like backstop it in like a blue just to like make the water look even more blue. And then it'll like kind of like flow down into this area and it'll be like just this really cool part, and it'll go down because this is going to go down a lot further, but it'll be this really cool part of the whole build. I like that. Also, I was thinking we have a lot of beacon beams going through here. So that's another thing that I don't know that I necessarily have to pre-plan for, but maybe I do, right? Where we figure out like we have beams maybe at like some different cross points here. And then what if we have like just all like the max beacon effects or something here? That'd be really cool. This could be like the magic or the technology, I guess, in our case, that like holds everything together, are these like beacon beams like kind of shooting through, and it's providing this futuristic magical like aura that's helping everything grow, and it's maybe keeping the big islands that are going to be floating like actually out here floating. I don't know what that's going to look like, but something like this, right? They don't have to have any kind of symmetry to them per se, but I think them being like of a decent size will definitely like help out with the actual planning of them when that time comes. We can have a couple small ones too, right? Maybe we have some like smaller ones like kind of like dotted in here. I'm going to lay this out off camera really quick because I feel like I want to have this as like part of it. It's a little bit easier to plan it out now than later when we like dig this thing all the way down. So I'm going to get it kind of figured out. All right, I got a little bit of a layout going on, and I think I kind of like it. I'm not 100% sure because I want like this good mixture of being able to kind of see down through there, but it also feeling like it's got a lot going on. But I think like when we add in like some trees and maybe a couple of like bridges that gap some of these, I think it'll become a little busy. So this might change, but it does kind of help me like picture like what this thing is going to be. Also, they'll probably be generally at different heights too. Some will be higher and lower. And I kind of have this vision of this like real floating, almost like mess in a way, but not a mess, like an intentional mess, I guess. So anyways, we'll have all those things out there. If anybody has any like cool inspiration photos or ideas or something, definitely like, I don't know, come to my Discord channel and like let me like show them to me there or something. It would be really great. But anyways, I think just one of the last things that I need to kind of plan out for this is where the item input's going to go. Initially, I'll probably just have like a chest as the input, like when we make the system itself, or a series of chests. But then once we go into a couple episodes after that, we're going to build a shulker box unloader system, a couple of them, one for this layer right here for the regular storage, and then another one for the layer down below of the bulk storage. So I think what I want to do, where's my chests at? Let's get white out again, just so we can kind of plan this. I know I'm not going to need as big of a space, so like I'll give myself like, I can always dig in further if I need to, but I'm gonna give myself like 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do like a 5 block gap in between these. And then we'll have, I don't think I need more than 3 blocks wide for the shulker loader. I've built these before. They can be fairly compact. So I think we'll plan out like this much space for the shulker loader system. And then another, let's say 3 blocks on the side, just to kind of like cap it off. And maybe even like this like cool design in the wall right here might look kind of neat. And then we can kind of decorate this whole area out here can be like some type of like decoration as well. So something like that. I think that looks really good. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. And for the most part now, we have a lot of this planned out. Now here's the next stage of planning. And we're going to get into this probably in the next episode. is we have to plan out how many actual materials we're going to need for the build, because we're going to have 99 columns of chests, and then each column has a whole mess of things that it needs to go along with it to make this system work and function good. So I'm going to have to plan that out, but I'm not going to plan that out today. Instead, I'm going to plan that out probably in the beginning of the next episode, and then we're going to fulfill those needs in the live stream. So make sure you have those notifications turned on. Make sure they are set to always on. That way you're always notified when I go live. You're always notified whenever a video comes out. And make sure you follow me over on Twitch in case you like to watch there instead of YouTube. That is a great place to watch as well. But for our planning episode, I think we're done. We kind of have our plan for our mega base. My original intention was to go all the way down here, and that's going to take many streams to take this thing all the way down. We need to go down about another 30 to 40 blocks from here, I think, something around there. But we're not going to do that for now. We're going to do that over the streams over the next couple of weeks as we get this huge project done. There's so many things to do. I hope you guys are excited about it. If you are, can you let me know down in the comments below what parts of this build are you most excited about? The multi-item sorter, the storage silos, the 320 mega furnace of doom, the possible slime farm that's going to go in here, the build itself and how the whole thing's going to look, the shulker unloaders. There's so many things. Do you have any other ideas of things that would make sense to go in here that I don't already have somewhere else in the world? Let me know down below, or join me on Discord and let me know there. Thanks everybody for watching today. I do appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.